So in this video, we're going to talk about the safe deposit box realities that no one will tell you. All right, now some people have safe deposit boxes, and some people who have safe deposit boxes put their important legal papers in those boxes, their wills, their trusts, their powers of attorney, and sometimes that causes problems later in life. I want to give you a good example of some of the problems that can surface, but before I do, I want to remind you just to let you know that I post on this YouTube channel every morning at 10 a.m. Central Time. So just tune in shortly after 10 and you'll get a new kind of educational piece on estate planning. So have a lot of fun doing it. If you got suggestions, bring them on in the comments below about topics that you'd like to find out more about. Okay, so here's the scenario that happened about 5 months ago. A father, I'll call him a dad, he passed away. And after he died, the family knew he had a safe deposit box, but nobody knew where the key was. And the family assumed, and still does assume, that Dad's will was in the safe deposit box. So they come to us and we get involved, and we realize there's some pleadings that have to be filed at the courthouse. There's some orders that have to be signed by a judge. But before we start that probate and get courthouse employees and judges involved, we contact the bank. We always want to, talk to the bank where that safe deposit box is to hear from them, what they need from us so that we can get in the box. So we contacted the bank. They said all we need is that order that orders that you take an inventory of the box. So we prepared the appropriate petition to institute search for will, filed that at the courthouse, and then about 3 months after Dad died, about 2 months ago, the judge signs the appropriate court order. And the court order orders that the safe deposit box be drilled and that the will and pertinent contents be removed from the safe deposit box. So we send that over to the branch manager and say, when can we come by to get this taken care of? And then there's just delay, because the bank branch manager is just kind of one of those who, when they say that we're supposed to call them to get information or set something up, they're never available to take the call. And when they suggest that we email them to schedule stuff, we never get a reply email, one of those. So my dog is barking in the background. So there's a delay there. So finally we hear from the bank, all right, so you can come and you can get the box drilled and get the will and the contents from the box, but we just need the death certificate and the court order that you have and letters testamentary and a judgment of possession. So we're rolling our eyes and we're like, we can't get the letters testamentary and the judgment of possession until we file the will at the courthouse, and the will is locked up in your safe deposit box. So more delay, more frustration. Finally, we go to the estates department of big bank, and this was and is a big bank. And when you go to the estates department, you go to the lawyers of the estates department, who are not real swift in their response time. So that's where we are right now. It's been 5 months since Dad died. We don't know if the will's in the safe deposit box or not. Accounts are frozen. Nobody can get at the funds. And we're still waiting on the bank's estates department to get back with us to give us the okay to drill the safe deposit box and remove the contents. So all kinds of problems here. One is there is a safe deposit box that nobody can enter, and we have to get it drilled because nobody knows where the keys are. We have to rely on the judges and the courthouse employees to sign the court orders and get us the certified copies of those. We have to rely on the bank branch managers, and I realize bankers on a day-to-day basis deal with people depositing money into bank accounts and withdrawing money from bank accounts, and banks typically don't on a daily basis deal with all of these probate or succession court pleadings, so they get confused every time one of these things pops up. And we're dealing with the estates department, which is just apparently in some back office, or the bank has lawyers at law firms that they've got to consult with, which is more delay in these matters. So it made me realize that what people don't like about this whole probate process, or in Louisiana we call it succession process, is it leads to the family's loss of control. So accounts are frozen, and then the family's at the mercy of judges and courthouse employees, families at the mercy of bank employees, families at the mercy of bank lawyers, and the family, quite frankly, is at the mercy of their own lawyer that they hire to get them through all of this process. So that's what I think kind of gets it in people's, kind of gets it, gives them a bad taste in their mouth about probate, is that loss of control. And it's all being done at a difficult time as well, so that makes it even worse. So this things, I'll update you on how it develops. We're still waiting, but things, could have been done differently. And I realize Dad had a long bout with dementia or Alzheimer's that, contributed to maybe some things not being set up exactly right. But if you do have a safe deposit box, make sure, and don't just ask your lawyers, but ask the bank how to arrange things so that someone else can get in that box without any difficulty after you pass away. And then also, because in this circumstance there's frozen accounts, you likely can fairly easily set up accounts so that trusted family members can access those accounts after you pass away, because some accounts permit beneficiary designation, some accounts permit payable on death, some accounts permit others to have signature authority, some accounts will need to be in your living trust, which will give your successor trustee / family member the ability to access that immediately after you pass away. So that's the key there, is arranging things so that your family doesn't get that sense of loss of control for a period of likely months after you pass away. All right, so hope that helps with your safe deposit box matters. We'll see you next time, 10 o'clock Central Time every morning. See you then. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, give it a thumbs up, and then share this with other people who might have safe deposit box. We'll see you next time.